Illinois, January 13, 2025. Take roll, Mary Beth.
Johnson?
Here.
Keeper?
Here.
Meyer?
Here.
Westmeyer?
Here.
Weenan? Here. Brenner?
Here, we have a quorum. Next is the pledge of allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, then let's move into item number 25C-005, reports of standing committees. Anything to note?
No, thanks.
All right, let's move ahead to item number 25C-0006, citizens' comments, not to exceed 15 minutes as an agenda item and not more than 3 minutes per speaker. If anyone wants to address the council, step up to the podium, state your name and your address.
It's me. My name's Elizabeth Bogus. I live at 519 4th Street. Back in November of last year, I stood right here at this podium and told you a story about being president of my homeowners association and learning the hard way that even if your constituents voted for you, even if they have confidence in you, you really don't know what they think unless you ask them. You can have public hearings as we did here, but you have to like standing up in front of large groups of people to state your opinion. Clearly, some people like that because the hearings were mostly standing room only. The problem I had with the hearings was that there was never, ever a time to ask questions to you, the very people making the decisions. So the idea of a referendum made sense. Ask the people what they think. So today, the Municipal Electoral Board unanimously found in favor of Mr. Wiedenhef's objections. All 3 questions were found unacceptable. Okay, not much I can do about that, and it wasn't a big surprise. But I can suggest that you, as the City Council, take on the idea of asking the citizens. Write your own questions. You have time to submit them before the deadline. You don't have to gather the signatures. And you can do what we hoped. Find out what your constituents want. I don't know what they want, but more importantly, you don't know. I have lost sleep over this, I have obsessed over this, and I have wanted to do the right thing for all of us. I know you care about the citizens of Galena, or you wouldn't be on the council. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, is there anybody else wishing to address the council at this time? Okay, then let's move ahead to public hearings. We have none tonight. The Liquor Commission, we have none. Let's go on to consent agenda CA 25-1. Do I have some type of a motion on it?
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda CA 25-1.
Second.
Second.
All right, the move and seconded on consent agenda CA 25-1 discussion. Any of them? Alderperson City Taylor.
I just wanted to highlight in 25C-009 that there is an additional amount. Oh, wait, I have the right one. No, sorry, 008, that there is an additional amount of $3,650.54 for the litigation at the Parker, we'll just call it Parker Project. Okay, the Parker Project, which brings our fiscal year total spent to $65,858.49 for a grand total of just over $177,000.
Okay, anything else? Take roll, Mary Beth.
Johnson?
Yes.
Keeper?
Yes.
Tegmeyer?
Yes.
Westmeyer?
Yes.
Weenan?
Yes.
Brenner?
Yes, motion carries. Let's move ahead to unfinished business. We have none. Let's move right into new business. Item number 25C-0011. It's the quarterly report from Galena Country Tourism, and we have Terry here tonight, Terry Matson. Terry, would you mind coming up?
Good evening.
Good evening.
Hand out some materials that if you're able to pass them around, I'll reference those. Thank you for the opportunity, Mayor Renner, council members. The first handout, the Galena Country Tourism Mid-Year Report, is something that you will find in your electronic packets as well. And basically, the purpose this evening is for me to just highlight at a 30,000 foot level the activities of what we've been working on, answer any questions that you might have. Of course, we're always available to meet in person or otherwise to answer any questions anytime and give updates. The first sheet is Galena Country Tourism by the numbers. And we just wanted to, rather than giving you volumes of information, just some of those highlights of some important metrics. And the first one I think is of particular importance, the 6.4 million earned media coverage views. Those are the eyes on Galena and Galena Country, and drawing more attention to the destination and enhancing its image and popularity. December 2024 had 4.3 million earned media coverage views. And that's more than FY23 had the entire year and more than double of any previous years. And an explanation for that is and this is media coverage that we're not paying for. It's leveraged by our efforts to enhance those editorial views, free publicity, if you will. But I think it's also indicative of where we're spending some of the media buys and how those outlets leverage the different views. So these are eyeballs, if you will, that lead to more popularity for Galena Country. The 189,570 book direct searches are something that we manage. You can see some highlights from the visitor center where there was 10,000 visitor guides mailed, 8,000 visitor center walk-ins. And just as a segue to this as well, we're on a fiscal year that's July through December. So these stats are July through December. And for the first time ever, we're planning to do an annual report, which looks at the calendar year. I know you're on a calendar year, January through December, so we're starting a new year here, but I think sometimes it might be easier to look at comparing apples to apples on a calendar year to calendar year. So look forward to in the next few weeks an annual report from our organization. We need to be on a fiscal year starting in July every year because we're so tied to state government, the state of Illinois and the Illinois Office of Tourism. That requires our finances to be accounted for on a fiscal year, but we're going to try and make it easier for people to digest our information. The website activity, 561,000 users, 2.3 million page views. You can review this information at your leisure as well. We talk about engagements, the Facebook likes, 3,000, and this is for those first 2 quarters of our fiscal year. The Instagram reach of 139,000 and earned media views, as I said, of 6.4 million. So that's the 30,000 foot view of the metrics. Wanted to touch a little bit about the other things we're doing. The list is long. The first 2 quarters have been bustling with new activity as we continue driving Galena Country forward. We've welcomed new board members, filled key staff roles, and we're working on the visitor guide. Just going to go down this list and talk a little bit more. The staff changes in the audience with us tonight. I'm sure many of you know Fallon Oldenburg, a familiar face. She rejoined our organization not long ago. And as Vice President of Marketing, she was previously with Galena Country, took a 3-year detour to Madden Media, which is a destination marketing advertising agency. And we're absolutely delighted that she is back at Galena country. Also want to mention Lori Kinnaman, who I'm sure probably many of you know as well. She's been elevated from operations director, a promotion, to vice president of finance, and Lori plays a key role in elevating Galena country's business practices and fiscal responsibility. Also want to mention, to Fallon's credit, she also is a CDME, which is a certified destination marketing executive and management executive. So those are the staff updates. Board positions, we have some board updates as well. First of all, Katie Weenan, welcome. She is one of our newest board members, has been with us for a few months now. Also, Mike Dittmar has been appointed to his term from Joe Davis County. We're excited to have him on board. Jennifer Pickett, the owner of Gabby's Gifts, joins the board as the retail representative for a 3-year term. And Kelly Rabb has been appointed as an at-large seat on the board with her term expiring in 2027. So, and those who know Kelly also know she is president of the Warren Chamber of Commerce. Our officers for the year are Colin Sanderson, who is chair, Betsy Rose Davis is vice chair from the Wyndham, and Zeke Winders is treasurer, and Jack Dieter is the secretary from Big Bill's Coffee and Sandwich Shop. Just going down the list here, it's been a very busy time as we generate more content. We've done photo shoots at more than 60 locations in those first 2 quarters throughout the county and throughout Galena. Video shoots, those are always important. We've got more in our files, different themes for a lot of things. The last one was a guy's getaway. The next thing on your list, we'll spend a little bit more time talking about the Longwoods Resident Sentiment Survey, which hopefully everyone here took that survey, and it's our way of reaching out to the community, our most important stakeholders, which are the residents, to gauge their sentiments. And we will facilitate that information. A report will be out later this month. And we're basically trying to benchmark the thoughts, the feelings, the sentiment, and how we work with the local community in developing the industry. So we're very excited to share that information with you once we've compiled it. It's still in the works, and I think it's going to lead to good things with community engagement. Next on the list, our summer advertising obviously is complete at this time of year. The fall is complete, and the winter ads are running. And maybe that segues into another thought about the regional and national outlook as we look at that. Obviously, the temperatures outside are cold this evening. That's been good for snowmaking at Chestnut Mountain. Fabulous, gets us more back on track. If you recall last year at this time, especially over the holidays, folks were struggling with the warm temperatures and really had a difficult time of kicking off the winter sports season. This year we have man-made snow. The mindset is still, and this will be reflected, I'm sure, in the receipts as we go further along. If there isn't a winterscape on the ground in the Chicago region, people psychologically just aren't in the mindset sometimes to travel as much during the winter season. So if anyone can make it snow, that would be great. We don't need dump loads, but we need to have that winter wonderland sensation. As far as long-term outlooks, we recently went through an election. That makes things a little bit wonky in terms of consumer confidence. That happens every time. I think Galena is in a very, very good position to capitalize on our core markets for travel. There's still some hesitation about consumer spending. People are looking for good values. They're probably spending less per party still. But the fact of the matter is we are able to attract those most likely to visit to Galena and Joe Davis County. We launched a lodging co-op. Speaking of marketing, that's one of your handouts. And I'll touch on that just a little bit. What that's all about is an opportunity for Galena Country to leverage our assets with the lodging properties. And I might have touched on this a little bit before in previous visits, and we went through different gyrations and really spent a lot of time and effort in our time and energy resources in developing what we think is a pilot program utilizing resources that we would invest on our own to promote the destination in its entirety. The beauty of this for us is it will increase our reach and frequency by 38%, being a 70-30 match with lodging properties. We're starting with those folks as being the keepers of the fuel, if you will. It's visitors paying to attract more visitors, so we thought that was a natural place to start, and hopefully this can be leveraged into partnerships with other stakeholders as well. There's 6 different opportunities. The beauty for the lodging properties is that we're not only promoting Galena, but it links to and provides access to their portals directly if they participate. This isn't something that's being forced upon anyone. It's totally voluntary. The response so far has been good, and will be hopefully attracting more people to participate as the month continues.
Terry?
Yeah.
What is the definition of lodging in this? Like, who is it? Is it just hotels? Do Airbnbs come into this? Like, who has a chance to participate?
Great question. It's all of the above. It's for large lodging, small lodging, B&Bs, the VRBOs. We're opening it up to all those folks to participate.
And
there's a menu in the back, if you will, of the different ways to participate, and they can, I think it's one page from the very back. Maybe that's assets, but anyway, there's six different opportunities to participate, and folks can participate in 1, 2, or all 6 at various financial levels. So the only thing in retrospect, I've been here a little over a year. I wish we could have started this a couple of months prior, but we really went through some exercises with Envy, who is Envision It, which is our lead agency. They do a fantastic job for us. They used as a model some of the programs that they had worked with other destinations on that we felt was just a little, probably certainly too expensive for the lodging properties and too expensive for what we wanted to put into this. But we hope as many people participate as possible. It's good for us because, again, by about a third it extends our reach, and for them, it's the swinging deal of the century with Galena Country covering 70% of their campaign.
And these are multimedia advertisements?
Yes,
Or
most
like
of
what you're
it
doing
is
in other,
yeah, most of it is digital
Yeah.
in some way, shape, or form, whether it's with Meta or Google. There's some other out-of-home experiences in there as well. But we're available to meet one-on-one with the lodging properties to tailor what's a good fit for them. And we have probably the best person in the world on board in Fallon. This is what she was working with clients that were in competition with Galena Country prior to rejoining us. So this is a project that she's your contact person on, and I know we'll do a great job with it. So the more the merrier. Hopefully everyone participates. Next, wanted to talk about the visitation snapshot. That's born out of a lot of questions from the stakeholders, and also questions that I have personally about being new to the market. It involves more tracking of who's visiting Galena, their demographics, what they're doing when they're here, and why they're coming. So that's a brand new program that will be available in early 2025. We'll have more information for you on that. Next on the list, lodging tax performance. I believe we have the numbers, the tax receipts, lodging tax receipts through October. They've been very good. We got off to kind of a slow start at the beginning of the year, but came on really, really strong mid-summer and through the fall. There's a 3% plus increase, which is very solid. I know a lot of destinations are enjoying that kind of success, so we can all be very proud of that and very thankful. The numbers from the county are a little bit more on the flat side, but that's still a little bit hard to gauge right now because there's a couple important asterisks. There was one of their major properties that's was on hiatus for a few months. That means not closed, but they just weren't open for business. They'll be up and running again in the spring. And also there was one property in the county that's fallen behind on some of their tax payments. So if you put that into the equation, they're both probably pretty close, both within the Galena property and within the county. Talk a little bit about a small business development grant. I don't want to spend too much time on that, but wherever we go, we talk about it because Northwest Illinois Economic Development in Joe Daviess County announced this, I think in about November. It's a loan program which totals $100,000 in available resources and is intended to be a source of financing to aid with pilot projects and to fill gaps not filled by equity and traditional capital. David Schmidt, Northwest Illinois Economic Development, is the contact there, and we hope a lot of people apply and use those funds to expand their businesses and develop more of the product, whether it's tourism related or otherwise. QR code. For those familiar with QR codes, it's been a quick success as a popular resource for providing visitors with weekly events, parking map, information on restroom facilities, a digital visitors guide, and all of the essential information that people are most asking for. And it's being highlighted in storefronts with window decals with that QR code, also with table tents, different printed materials where people can get that information on a weekly basis. We manage that, we update it regularly, and it's really born out of another initiative that we're very proud of, and that's the Catalyst Collaborative, where being new, I just wanted to learn a lot more about all the different organizations and entities and just called them together on a quarterly basis, and people loved it because I think for the first time in a long time, a lot of these groups started talking to one another and sharing their ideas and their thoughts and how we essentially can be more collaborative. And we're expanding that group and look for more good things in the future. And can't say enough good things about that group and their efforts. Yes.
Is the QR code information, is that rotating on your website as well? So like if I was like I'm not going to the shops, but I'm curious what's going on this week in Galena, like is that same content
Right.
scrolling somewhere?
Right.
Or
that
could it be?
information is easily accessible. Yeah. And readily available.
But is that where it is?
Mhm. Yeah.
Housed on your like main page, or
It all lives on Galena Country, and that would
and it's called that, like this week in Galena Country, like, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm trying to say, like, hey, if I wanted to check it out or point someone to it, but I didn't have the QR code, like, could I say, hey?
I believe it's on.
Sorry, I can see you through there.
Come on up.
Hi,
I know it lives there. Is it on the homepage? I couldn't ask.
Yeah,
Right
right now it's emailed out every week to all of the businesses. It is also housed on our website on the homepage, like at the bottom. We plan on making it more prominent in the future in the visitor's guide and having that QR. It's not going to be in this past one because the already went to print. But we have seen really great response to it. So we plan on expanding, and feedback is welcome, right? So right now we email it out, and then there's also stickers printed for businesses to post, on their countertop. We've seen them we were just at the Wyndham this week and they had it printed out, like not the QR code, but the actual the events that are happening this week printed out on their front desk. So we're open to suggestions as far as deliverables on what works best for people to kind of share that information, because we want it to be something that visitors and locals can use to kind of just know what's going on.
Sure. And I'm just thinking, and I don't know, this is a question
Yeah.
for some other time, but like what way that maybe
Yeah.
the city could help as well? Like if it's a
Sure.
QR code, are we
Yeah,
putting
we
it up here? Are we putting it on our
Absolutely.
website? Is that not kosher? And,
Yeah, no,
you
we absolutely want to expand on it. It launched about 6-8 weeks ago, and the response has been really beneficial. So feedback is welcomed and appreciated on how we can further communicate and use it for everybody. Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I just standing here and thinking out loud, I'd have to think that through of how, I don't think we necessarily put the QR code on the front page, but everything that's included in
The
that
link.
QR code.
Yeah, it
is-
could just be a link or
Yeah,
a
it
button.
could just be a link.
Sure.
And that information and a whole lot more obviously is on the website, in addition
Right.
to calendars that are far more extensive than what we're talking about in that list that's going out, like at the front desk of hotels and in the businesses on Main Street. So you asked a good thought-provoking question that I couldn't immediately give the correct answer to.
No,
So,
that's good. That's good.
we're just always striving for improvement, not perfection. Beyond the QR code, a film, a movie. I'm sure many of you probably know a little bit about this already, more to come, but Death of a Brewer filming in Galena this spring. There'll be more on that. UTV routes made this list. That's probably, well, definitely more of a county thing than Main Street or Galena proper. But we're working with the communities that have developed in Joe Davis County, that have developed some routes, particularly that come from Grant County, that once we get into the spring and summer season, I think you'll see some impacts. Just this week, it was released in Minnesota, northeastern Minnesota, some economic impact studies, and our role, or my role in this, a while back, I was asked by the county to gather economic impact information of, what occurs in other destinations and what might possibly we could expect in Joe Davis County if we develop different networks of routes and or trails. And this most recent study out of northeast Minnesota, which involved 3 counties, had I think it was a $33.6 million annual economic impact in those 3 counties, so about 11 million a piece. So it's up to the destination and other folks like yourself that make the decisions on the county board as far as what gets developed or not, but we're here to provide that information and say, in other places where it's been well thought out and well managed and well developed, it provides people access to the outdoors that they didn't have before, to recreation, and it creates spending within those rural areas. And it's economic development, and it creates jobs. So I think that's, all of those things are probably very near and dear to everyone in Joe Davis County. Quick bicentennial update. The executive committee met this morning. I know there's more information coming out of there. That's for 2026, but we've been meeting for several months already, leading up to that with a series of different events and activities. And you'll start to see more of that being promoted by Galena Country already in 2025 as we lead up to that 200th anniversary. Our ongoing responsibilities, which certainly are many. Just a quick recap of those last 2 quarters. Viking cruises. This year we welcomed over 800 passengers that are going up and down the Mississippi. We hosted 7 events with Live at the Plaza just outside the window here. Fam tours and media visits was a very robust year for that. We hosted several groups from the UK and Germany during the pandemic. The Illinois Office of Tourism, which we rely on very heavily for international travel, had to take some time off there, but they're back in the game, and that means more activity, and we'll be seeing more foreign visitors. A lot of what we do involves supporting the stakeholders in creating and maintaining their presence in all of our resources. We do those up-to-date event calendars, including annual events and festival lists, as well as managing the event listings on our website and also with Enjoy Illinois, the state group. So we hosted over 20 motor coach groups. I've got a lot of things on the list here, but you're probably tired of hearing from me already. So we're gearing up for consumer trade shows over the winter. And that, in a nutshell, is my elevator speech as far as an update for the 2 quarters. And look forward to our annual report, the first ever, coming out in the next couple of months.
Okay, thank you, Terry, very much. You've been very busy. Is there any questions, any more questions on any of this? I mean, we can always review it and get with them again if you find something.
Yeah, I know you like to keep this like 5 to 15 minutes, and I could be here for 50, but nobody needs that.
Not tonight.
Okay.
No, thank you very much, Terry, and welcome aboard, Colin, and the board members and stuff.
Call or write anytime. We're always here.
All right, thank you. Go ahead.
I would just love if just even the shorter sheets, if these could be thrown up there.
Okay.
I think, just be helpful for those in the audience and then to go through if
We
it's
can do
easy
that.
enough to do, because I'm
Improve
sure this
whenever
is all
you go away.
digital, right? So,
And one last thing that I forgot to mention, if I can have 2 seconds, you see the image on the cover, which is also an image that in some way, shape, or form is in our 2025 visitor guide, which is being bound together as we speak this week. So if we were meeting on Friday instead of Monday, we'd have had that for you already, but that'll be out in the next week. So look forward to that in your inbox.
All right, thank you,
Thank
Terry.
you.
Thank you very much. Okay, then, let's move ahead to item number 25C-0012. It's the warrants. Do I have a motion on the warrants?
Make a motion to approve the warrants, item number 25C-0012.
Okay, seconded by Alderperson Kiefer. Any questions on any of the bills? Take roll call. Mary Beth?
Kiefer?
Yes.
Tegmeyer?
yes.
Westmeyer?
Yes.
Lena?
Yes.
Johnson?
Yes.
Renner?
Yes, motion carries. Let's move ahead to item 25C-0013. Alderperson's comments. Alderperson Ricky.
Nothing tonight, Your Honor.
Alderperson Cindy Johnson.
I was just wondering if we could sometime get an update on the responses to the surveys for the comprehensive plan, or how that's going, the comprehensive plan. And I also would like to thank the citizens that got together to try to get, thank the citizens that got together and tried to get some answers for us.
Anything else, Cindy?
No.
Okay, Alderperson Cindy Tegmeyer.
Thank you. Thank you, Terry, for your report. And I also wanted to thank Elizabeth and Kathy and those folks that may be listening or watching this later who don't know what we're talking about. There was a municipal officers electoral board for a hearing and consideration of objections to petitions for referenda to be voted on. So we don't have to obviously go through that, but it is recorded the same way that these meetings are recorded. So if you wanted to go back and watch it on our YouTube channel, that was available to you. And speaking of surveys, I've been a proponent and talked to Mark a few different times about getting a survey platform. And there was some talk about it being rolled into the comprehensive plan, but I'm not really sure if that's happening. And I think that would be a great opportunity to have an unbiased way to question not only the city of Galena constituents, but the wider community, the same way that Galena Country Tourism has a survey platform for whatever they're using. So if you have an extra person you can add on there, maybe let us know about that. But yeah, I think it would be a great way to get some feedback about multiple questions, so that we are more informed and we're making sure we're making decisions not based on a vocal minority in either direction.
All right, thank you, Cindy. All right, our person, Katie Weenan.
Yeah, I just wanted to bring up again an option for residents who live here for parking downtown, especially when there's a lot of open parking spots these days in the winter. So I don't know if that's a pass or a tag, but I do think that we should do something for local residents, to come down and support businesses and shops. So if you could get with Mark and then whatever needs to happen, would be great.
Anything else?
No, thank you.
Our person, Chair Westmeyer.
I'd just like to thank Fallon for her new position and coming back to Galena. That's it.
Okay, then, let's move ahead, item number 25C-0014, City Administrator's Report. I have it right here today. This is from Mark Moran. He says, good evening. I am sorry that I am not able to attend the meeting tonight. I have 3 items to report. The first, bids are now out for the temporary repairs to the Dewey Avenue Bridge over the Hewlett Creek. The bids will be returned for the review at the next council meeting. The second, the bids are out for the road or concrete work for the new shade structures at the pool. These bids will be returned at the first council meeting in February. Lastly, he says, our staff has started the procedures of developing the budget for next fiscal year. I will be sending you the proposed schedule later this week. Thank you, Mark. Okay. And wish him luck. All right. Let's move ahead to 25C-0015, Mayor's Report. I have nothing tonight, and with that, I'll entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
All right, move to second to adjourn, take roll, Mary Beth.
Tegmeyer,
Yes.
Westmeyer,
Yes.
Weena,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Yes.
Keeper,
Yes.
Renner.
Yes, motion carries. We're adjourned, thank you all.